For 0 is less than or equal to theta, which is also less than 2 pi, which values of theta make 3 sine theta plus 2 sine squared theta equals -1 true? Whenever I see this, I just make believe in my head that sine theta is A. Let's just pretend that sine theta is A. You'll see. So I would write down something like, 3a plus 2a, that's sine squared theta, so a squared equals -1. If I add 1 to both sides, and rearrange things like so, you should be able to look at that and say, by golly, that is a factorable problem. I could probably factor that out to 2a plus 1, and regular a plus 1 equals 0. And then, of course, you double check to make sure it works, and it works. You really have no other options. I mean, the quadratic formula could be used, but who the heck wants to do that? So what you're left with here is you would say 2a plus 1 equals 0, subtract 1, divide by 2, you get -1/2 is equal to a. That's cool. Also, subtract 1 and you get a equals -1. That's also cool. Now, before you go over here and go like, oh, what the heck? Where's -1/2 or where's -1? Buddy, I didn't start out with a. I started out with sines. So remember, we pretended that a is -1/2, or we pretended that a is sine squared, so that means sine theta, not squared, boy oh boy. Sine theta equals -1/2, and sine theta equals -1. Okay, so let me scooch that over here and just rewrite them just for, because I have the space. Sine theta equals -1/2. Oh boy, I left some space there. I don't know why I would do that. Sine theta. I hope I don't do that again. Oops, I did. Now, why would I do such a silly little thing, leaving all that space? Well, if I want to get theta all by itself, which is what I'm doing, I'm solving for the values of theta, I'm going to inverse sine both sides. What that does by inverse signing both sides is that crosses u out. So now I have theta equals the inverse sine of -1/2. Now, the inverse sine of -1/2, let's think of what sine is. Okay, sine is a y value, so all of that stuff happens underneath here, underneath the x-axis. So if we're thinking unit circle thoughts, and you have a unit circle right here, when would y equal 1/2? Well, right here and right here, the dot's closest to the x-axis. That's when y would equal 1/2. So what you are is you are 7 pi over 6, and you are 11 pi over 6. So my two thetas that give me -1/2 are going to be 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. Now that's one of these. Now I have to do the other. So I'm going to inverse sine again. Inverse sine again. So I have all that space. That crosses out. So theta equals the inverse sine of -1. Again, sine is a y value. On the unit circle, when is the y value -1? Well, just down here. Okay, the y value is 0, the y value is 1, the y value is 0, the y value is -1. That's 3 pi over 2. So theta is also going to be 3 pi over 2. So my options are 7 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6, 3 pi over 2, not necessarily in that order, but that gives B as our answer. Fun stuff. I like solving trig functions. It makes you think. Hope this helps.